Come on, this brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, and this week I'm joined by the Super Cedar brothers, Albert and Guillermo. Last week, Albert wasn't here. Oh, not the Super Cedar brothers, not to be confused with the boys up in Golden State, the Smash brothers.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out the reference. I thought you were talking about Super Mario or something.
I was about to make a Super Mario reference. I said, I say my mushroom, and I'm pretty good now.
The Golden State did smash on Guillermo's Clippers.
I thought you guys taking it as a compliment. I didn't know you were bashing me secretly.
Before we get started,
my Clippers did lose to the Golden State Warriors.
It's known that I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan, but as soon as Kobe Bryant is done with his NBA career, I will officially become a Golden State Warriors fan.
Jump on that Golden State bandwagon.
I know. That's supposedly a Laker fan.
Today's episode,
I was a Kobe Bryant fan.
As always, is brought to you by Fine List of sponsors. First off, Rock and Green eco-friendly cleaning products, 5 Rounds clothing line, and Redemption Martial Arts. So today's show, I want to talk about UFC Fight Nights. We're grasped with 2 cards in one night again.
Usually that's a bad sign when we have 2 fights one night or whatever.
It seems like it's about the 3rd or 4th time they had 2 fights in one night already, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about Shogun, Bisping, Luke Rockhold, Ovid St. Pierre, your boy, you've been kind of tripping on for a while, kind of changing the guard. But that's a little later on. As of right now, I want to play a game called the 5 Round Showdown. We played this last week. You weren't here. No. I didn't know you were going to be here. I saw you the night before last week. You're fine. So I'm going to be here. I'll be here at the show. Come. So we're here. I'm
not going to lie to you. I couldn't even walk, bro. I tried my hardest to stand, and I couldn't do it.
Celebrating a birthday. That's what happened. So Guillermo won last week. Kind of not by default. He had some really good answers for all the questions I asked him.
Thank you.
But I kind of figured, it's kind of you guys are both here. Let's play a full round of 5 Round Showdown. So this is the concept. I asked 5 questions that revolved around the world of mixed martial arts. I just want to get random questions. Albert and Guillermo do not know what I'm going to ask them. So I want them to shoot from the hip, see what we got, and then we'll judge the winner. See who goes
I always go for a double leg.
All right. So the first one, last week on Tough, we finally got to see what Dana White was calling the next Ronda Rousey and Rose Namajunas, right?
Namajunas.
Yeah. Well, did you guys see her performance? Gilbert Melendez called it the best performance of the season by any fighter so far. She gave Team Melendez its first win of the season. They did not know 1-6, I think. Is the Ronda Rousey comparison too much hype for?
I will take this first question.
For her, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Let me buzz in because Guillermo obviously never seen another Rose fight. I'm pretty sure that if he has seen this Tough,
Rose.
That's the only fight he's ever seen. I've seen all her fights.
Okay.
Let me tell you right now, it is overhyped just because the wins she does have are spectacular. But she does have a vicious loss, and against a very top contender who is in the Tough house. Who she already lost. She lost in the first round, but it was a devastating loss. And I just think when she's matched up against someone that she can break down mentally, yeah, she has an awesome performance, but I don't think she can hang with the top tier talent.
Top tier is pegging somebody who's still on Tough, haven't had one official fight in the UFC. The next Ronda Rousey too much hype.
Melendez versus Showtime Anthony Pettis is still going on?
Yes, it's still going on in the middle of it.
What did I tell you? Let's go to question number 2.
Yeah, go to question. I haven't even seen one episode.
Rose did lose to Tisha Torres.
There we go. And Tisha Torres already out.
She's out, but she's back in now due to injury.
Yeah.
So Guillermo doesn't watch Tough. Next one. Second question. Anderson Silva injured his back during training.
Yes, I did see this.
Severely enough to get rushed to the hospital. I guess he had minor,
something about the nerves or something.
Yeah, minor paralysis. He couldn't feel anything from the below his waist. Is this a red flag, Guillermo, to his comeback career? Remember, we talked last week about his big training. And so second part, have you ever injured yourself doing something kind of dumb, like you just lift up a box or?
Oh yeah.
All right. So for first question, is this a red flag?
It is a red flag. I mean, the age is catching up to him. I just want to bring a reference to Steve Nash.
He took my reference. I was going to use that one because that's how he hurt his back.
Steve Nash broke his tibia. It was a minor fracture, but now you see
nerve damage.
Yeah, now it's nerve damage to his back. So I think it is a red flag for Anderson Silva. He did say that the fight is still going on for February, still as scheduled. So I think it is a red flag. And have I ever hurt myself?
Like doing something,
Oh yeah, I was playing basketball right before my soccer practice, and I'm not kidding. I was just gonna do a layup. I rolled my own ankle. It was like so fat, and I was out for like 2-3 months.
Really?
And I really thought it was broken, but thank God it wasn't. It swelled down after 2-3 months.
Wow.
But yeah, it was just a layup right before practice.
Was that a while ago? Like a couple years ago?
No, man. It was like when I was like 16 years old.
Oh, well, I thought like you're older now, so lifting a box is kind of a dangerous business for our age. What about you, Albert? Is it a red flag? And 2, have you done anything done?
It's 100% red flag. Just like the Undertaker. Father.
Steve Nash.
He took my Steve Nash, so I'm going another route.
I like it. I'll take it.
Father Time always sneaks up on everybody. Is what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
All right.
Or unless it's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Right.
Brock Lesnar was just a representation of Father Time. It kind of just sneaks up on you. You kind of don't expect it. People don't see it coming, and guess what? It's very real. It's damn real. So,
is it a red flag?
I think it's 100% red flag. I think his body's starting to shut down, and I think a true athlete really needs to know when they need to start.
Kind of scaling back.
Yeah, because although the best athletes will tell you, I go off the reactions of my own body. Like Conor McGregor is a big person on movement. Yeah. He likes to feel what his body's doing, whatever. And I think as an athlete, yeah, they use that as something positive. But when it's something negative, they don't really want to accept it or embrace it like they do with the positives. People always say, "Oh, my body's feeling good, it's reacting well." But as soon as they start getting negative stuff, it's just a little thing here. I really don't think people embrace it, but it's just Father Time getting to you.
My real question is, I'm not a doctor, but your nervous system, how is it connected throughout your whole body? I mean, you broke a leg. Steve Nash broke.
Let's take Bryan Danielson right now, who
another wrestling.
He can't. Yeah, no wrestling. He can't get strength back in his hand. But they're saying it's some kind of nerve damage. But the reason he hasn't really had surgery right off the bat is because they can't really figure out, because it's a nerve thing. Yeah. They can't really figure out what really to do. They can, say they could do some surgeries, but they don't really know if that's going to help or not. It's just a recommendation.
When you think of muscles heal, right?
Exactly. So when Anderson Silva said, "Oh, it was a clean break and he should heal healthy," no one really took into consideration the nervous system of the human body.
That's crazy. That's what that song is: the hip bones, the leg bone, thigh bone, right?
You should have been paying attention on that song.
Exactly. Third one. Wanderlei Silva was back in the news again, attacking not the UFC but various MMA promotions. They're kind of geared towards the UFC about arguing fighters' pay, how they're not fighters getting paid, not getting paid at all, basically. So, second, two-part question. So, is Wanderlei Silva should he just lay back and just is he making a fool of himself? All these videos and going online, fighting the UFC, and two, should fighters' salaries be made public?
I think
because some of them are, right? The fighters' salaries.
Yeah, well, I think all fighters financially should be public. I mean, you look at NFL, everybody knows what Kobe Bryant's making. Yeah. Everybody knows what all these other athletes are making. I mean, when you're talking about endorsements and stuff like that, maybe that shouldn't be as public. But I mean, like their salary, I think it should be made very public. The other thing is, I just think Wanderlei Silva's trying to stay relevant because.
But for what though? I mean, he's not gonna fight anytime soon, is he?
Yeah, but my point is, because he's not gonna fight, I don't think he wants to lose that he's still in that picture of MMA. I mean, I've already forgot about Wanderlei Silva besides all the videos on Instagram. Yeah. That's how I get him back in my news. So
I think the best legends are the ones that ride off to the sunset. Mm-hmm. The ones that aren't willing to take that ride are the ones that I think staying. It's true. The ones, and then they stay in their legacy. I mean, like take Michael Jordan, who I think is probably one of the biggest legends ever. Mm-hmm. Every single time he goes and tries to go a little bit too more than what is expected, he gets a negative reaction from the audience.
Oh, so basically Kobe Bryant point two.
27 points a game, homie.
Yeah, what I'm saying is some of these big stars, I think, just have to ride out to the sunset. Yeah. And by doing more stuff, I think they actually garnish their legacy, and they're probably better off just leaving it alone.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you report Michael Jordan now, he's kind of laughing stock for the way he's running the Charlotte Hornets.
Actually, he's
now.
getting.
I know, but before that, he was the laughing stock.
Earlier. Now, this season, he's getting a lot of props.
Yeah.
So
no, but he's staying more behind the current this time, though.
That's not true. He's there every practice. He's there at
every
game.
What I'm saying is when they go and make ridiculous comments and they go and say stuff that has nothing to do with what's really going on with their life. That's what you're trying to say when they go a little bit more further than what is expected.
Fighter salaries, I think we usually get to the top makers, right? The guys in the main
card. Yeah, we usually get a little taste of what they get.
If you want to see the bottom guys, the Facebook or the fat pass now, I don't think their salaries are even released, right? So. But I mean, it is kind of a double-edged sword. This is a passion career for most guys. I mean, to make it, it's kind of tough.
Well, we see the bonuses as well. That's the only thing I was going to bring up. So, I mean, the bonuses inflate some of the.
But they only hand out 3.
Again, I think it's a good and bad thing. I mean, when it comes to what people get paid, some people are touchy with that subject. Yeah. But at the same time, it could be a positive thing for these fighters to list how much they get paid, because then competitors can probably, either pay more or know the ballpark area that they should be paying.
Yeah. All right, so next one, Anthony Rumble Johnson, was reinstated this week to the UFC after his case of domestic violence in the past was dismissed for lack of evidence or something like that. Coincidentally,
which they already said.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson, his case was also dropped as well this week. Not dropped, it was kind of settled, right?
Well, it was settled in court where he pleaded no contest.
So I think within 4 or 5 days of each other, Adrian Peterson and Anthony Johnson. So was Anthony Johnson's suspension even a punishment, or was it just for more show by the UFC?
I think it was more of a show, like to be honest, because how long of a layoff do fighters have anyway?
Yeah, so it's like we was suspended.
It's hard to suspend a fighter when they already take long breaks between fights.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to me.
So it's like more for show, you think? The whole because remember we talked about earlier.
It's a good message, though.
Yeah, it's a good message, but come on.
What they should say is we will not plan a fight for Anthony Rumble Johnson until he.
Well, now they're going to start planning.
That's the way they should have worded it instead of saying, "Oh, we're suspending him."
What about like a fine? Would that have been like just or that kind of drawing the line of fine? Maybe take back his winnings.
Well, yes and no, because if you look at it, Adrian Peterson wasn't fined. He was actually getting paid while he was on leave.
I'm saying
I think they shouldn't get fined, but the bonuses, which that's what it is, it's a bonus, should be taken away. So let's say the repercussion for what Anthony Rumble Johnson did. Look, listen, your next fight, hope you do awesome, whatever, but you're not gonna win or lose. You don't get a bonus.
If you even have a highlight knockout,
exactly.
That's actually kind of fair.
That one really hurts, and it doesn't really penalize him in a way.
The good thing is that he was dismissed. So.
Yeah, so excited to see him back in the light heavyweight division. Our last one, UFC announced a new TV deal with Sky Sports and Fox Sports that could lead to obviously will lead to more cards in Australia and New Zealand, but also has the potential to lead to a new version of Tough, Australia versus New Zealand. While the growth of the sport is great, but is another season of Tough really needed? I mean, does this water down the to be crowned Tough champion? I mean, does it mean anything anymore in the sport?
I don't think it means anything. Like you said, it just keeps getting more watered down.
Yeah.
How are you going to create stars when no one's watching? So I know he's shaking his head,
but I mean, ones that are Tough New Zealand versus
exactly. Did he see
Tough Latin America?
Did he see Patrick Cote Tough Canada versus Tough
England or something?
I don't even know. I'm pretty sure he didn't. He's gonna say he did, but he saw highlights.
So it's watered down, right?
Yes, it's watered down. It's hard to keep track. It's hard to keep track.
I'm gonna do another wrestling. Angie, okay. At one point,
you like Raw, you like SmackDown?
No, but see, I'm gonna go further than that.
And he doesn't watch TNA.
When WWE was really at the top of their game, right? Not only did they have Raw and SmackDown, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but they had Velocity and
Shotgun
Saturday Night, Sunday Night Heat.
But those are the giveaway shows.
Yeah, but what are these going to be? A bunch of giveaway shows.
Oh, true.
So,
yeah,
but I think as soon as they started stretching,
what happened to all those shows?
No, but that's what I'm telling you.
They're not there no more.
They're not there no more. But that's why I'm trying to reflect on it. I'm trying to show UFC. Look, there's something. There's another company as big as you that try to do stuff like this, and look what happens. The product gets watered down. The talent gets really stretched, and you don't really get to develop. And I think that's when they went to their hard developing phase. They were only able to really pick up 3 wrestlers from that era, which now you see in today's. But now that they're the more compact, the Raw, SmackDown, and then they have their NXT, they have a nice little organization going now. Now you see more talent pool.
I still think SmackDown's lacking a little bit.
I asked 5 questions. Did you bring up a wrestling reference for every answer?
Every single one. Yes, I did, sir.
Oh my god. So I expect to see a new
wins
Tough.
On that.
He wins on that. Bringing a wrestling reference for each and every one of his answers.
To do it.
All right, so Guillermo loser, Albert wins. Coming up next, I want to talk about what happened on Saturday. Out with the old and in with the new. In with the new. What happened this UFC Fight Night. So stick around, guys.
Please visit 5roundmma.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. 5roundmma.com.
Thank you for sticking around. Welcome back. I'm going to talk about UFC Fight Nights. 2 fights, one night. One was on Fight Pass in Australia. The other was on Fox Sports in Brazil.
And yet we're only going to talk about 3 fights.
Yep.
Well, to start off this segment, 2 fights.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the main event for each card. Kind of had something I thought a theme of the night was out with the old, in with the new. The fight card in Australia was headlined by Michael Bisping versus Luke Rockhold, and the one in Brazil was headlined by Ovid St. Pure. I hear it pronounced differently.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go OSP.
Okay.
Against Shogun.
I like that.
Yeah. So obviously, Luke Rockhold finished Michael Bisping. OSP finished Shogun. So I want to ask you guys 3 questions with the old and with the new. Start with the new. Who had the better performance, Rockhold or OSP?
Rockhold.
I'm gonna have to say.
Want me to elaborate on that?
We'll go with then why.
No, I'll say Rockhold too.
Why? Okay, Guillermo. Why? Why better performance of the two?
I just think Rockhold was able to, it ended in the second round, so I think Rockhold was able to showcase more of his talent. And unlike OSP, it was ended in 30 seconds, so we only saw. Yeah, it was a good movement that he did to get to knock out first Shogun down to the ground. But I think we got more of a showcase of Luke Rockhold's talent because his fight was longer.
I'm gonna say Rockhold just because Shogun, out of his last 7 fights, he's only won twice. So for even though
performance, like not like the win performance.
Yeah, it would have to be Rockhold just because he was dominant all the way through. And
you got good performance and lose, but did he look good to you? I mean, the fight didn't last that long.
And sadly, that's what it is. That's
steal my thunder.
St. Pierre's, I probably did a little bit too much, too fast, and didn't really show off his skills.
So again, for this one, what one was bigger, Rockhold or OSP?
Rockhold was bigger win because OSP, all he did was move up a little bit off the ranking. Now Rockhold is talking about #1 contender in the middleweight division. So
okay, Albert.
I'm actually gonna say Alvin St. Pierre's. And
That's because it's a weaker division, a little bit.
It's because it's a weaker division. Rockhold still has a lot of fights to get through.
No, he doesn't.
Before he
doesn't. This is where we disagree.
Okay, well, that's the next question though. But go ahead.
Because
so bigger win for OSP.
Yeah, just because I think now he can sneak in front of everybody.
Yeah, well, he said to be a legend, you got to be a legend.
Yeah,
so
he's literally 1 fight away. The only other person that can probably step ahead of him is Eisner Gustafsson and what do you call it?
DC, right?
Not DC. Well, DC already has a
Phil Davis? Johnson?
No, Anthony Johnson. Yeah. So I don't think Anthony Johnson are the only ones that can kind of really step ahead of him.
Yeah.
But he is in the mix.
Wow. In shock right now.
Luke Rockhold. I think there's too much time between the fights to where more people can step up and actually at that winning fight because there's still Yoel Romero still there. He can't get a fight. I'm just saying.
He lost Tim Kennedy.
Jacare still can't get a fight. There's a lot of stuff that has to be.
You forget Stoolgate with Tim Kennedy.
Yeah,
he wasn't off the stool.
Tim Kennedy's technically still in it too.
So next one, who's closest to a title shot, Rockhold or OSP?
Luke Rockhold.
Okay, why?
Well, because technically this puts him in the top 3 easily. Now, the only person that's standing in front of him is Jacare, who he already beat. So even after he beat Michael Bisping, he called out Jacare. He's like, I beat you once, I'll beat you again. After that, I'll be next in line to face Vitor Belfort or Chris Weidman. It makes perfect sense. I don't know why he's on the OSP bandwagon.
Well, I'm not. Different division, so he might.
I'm talking about different division.
Yeah.
No, and then he brought up the light heavyweight division.
Well, there are his light heavyweight division, so.
Yeah, but I mean, like you're talking about Ryan Bader still. He still needs to fight.
Well, I think
he lost to Ryan Bader. Well, Ryan Bader isn't in the radar though.
That's my point. Ryan Bader, Glover Teixeira.
He's not in the radar. All these people are not in the radar no more.
Rashad Sugar
Evans isn't going to come back for like another year. Phil Davis, maybe.
Now Anthony Rumble Johnson.
But
there's too many people in the way for OSP to get up there.
Let me tell you
who's close to the title shot.
And John Bon Jones
Let me tell you. I'm
John Bon Jones, yeah.
Obviously,
he might want to fight him.
Honestly, is closer because Rumble Johnson doesn't have an opponent and Alex Gustafsson doesn't have an opponent. That's 2 people, and if he can win from either or, automatically title shot. While Luke Rockhold, in their case, if he beats Jacare, maybe he'll get a title shot. Who knows? Maybe they want to face him against him.
Maybe he's in front of him. Maybe.
But I think there's a lot. Well, I think there's too much questions in the 185, and we need people to kind of go surface up before they decide. Okay, so and so should fight for first contender. Well, on this one, we know clearly it has to be Rumble Johnson or Eisner Gustafsson. So a win over those 2 guys has to give you a title shot.
Opposed to one guy, right?
I guess, but I mean, and the other thing is. Luke Rockhold's a bigger name than OSP. No one know who was OSP even before this fight. After this fight, people don't know.
He wasn't even supposed to fight Shogun.
No. Exactly. He wasn't even supposed. He wasn't even supposed to fight Shogun.
All right, let's go with the old now. More devastating loss for Michael Bisping or Shogun?
Shogun.
Why?
Because this is the end of Shogun, pretty much. I mean, from here on out, it's not really to title contention. It's more of a what do you guys call it?
Gimmick fighter, not gimmick fighter,
novelty fight. It's more of a novelty fight, more of a UFC Brazil.
Nothing. What's my next question?
Yeah, nothing for title contention. Yeah. And in terms of Michael Bisping, I still think he's the gatekeeper of the middleweight division, and he can beat whoever's down below in the middleweight, but yet he can never beat the top. And I think he'll be back. And I think Michael Bisping hasn't taken as much punishment as Shogun. So
what difference he lost for Bisping or Shogun?
Bisping.
Because you're talking about career versus a title contention, right?
Well, no, because I think the writing on the wall for Shogun was there 2 fights ago.
True.
Yeah, I think a lot of people already questioned his that he should retirement a couple fights ago.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people say after the Dan Henderson fight, it should have been over. Well, the reason it's more devastating for Michael Bisping, he was actually considered a contender, and he has never really been able to get. He has never really been able to get on a run. And I think he thought this one time he was finally going to get a couple wins under his belt, straight wins. And finally get the recognition he thinks he deserves.
Yeah.
And now he's back at the bottom, and now he has to work his way up. And he's not old enough to a point where you can start talking about retirement.
Yeah.
The guy still has to be able to fight.
Yeah. So my next question, you brought it up earlier about the whole novelty fighter. Bisping, obviously from the UK, Shogun from Brazil. Out of the two fighters, who is most likely to fight in the U.S. again?
Michael Bisping.
He'll fight in the U.S. first.
I think Michael Bisping fights.
Oh yeah, of course, that's Michael
Shogun's
Bisping.
all Brazil.
If Shogun fights one more time, it's gonna be Brazil.
The thing about Michael Bisping is he's a good trash talker, so he's a must watch still because no matter who they put up against him, it's gonna be good smack talking.
All right, so last one: who is most likely to leave the UFC and fight for another organization, Bisping or Shogun?
Shogun,
really?
I think overall Michael Bisping has even after he retires, I think he's very well spoken. He does come out very well on those interviews, and it looks like he'd probably be the next Kenny Florian, to be honest.
So you think Shogun will say to retire, the UFC will release him, and he'll go fight for Bellator or World Series of Fighting?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I think Michael Bisping is a little bit more professional.
I'm gonna have to say neither.
Neither?
I really do think because Michael Bisping, but I think both guys are very company men.
Yeah.
I think Michael Bisping already.
That wasn't the question.
Well, who was most likely to leave and fight?
So I answered that. I mean,
mine's none.
Yeah,
none because they're both company men. I think Michael Bisping has a good anchor job at Fox, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I really do think Shogun doesn't really have the. If you really look at him out there, he's not the type of guy that wants to be fighting his whole career.
Yeah.
I think he's already looking towards the end of it.
So I think he's already pegged to coach tough Brazil against Anderson Silva, right?
Yeah, see, so.
And that was he said, I'll fight Anderson Silva with the fans wanted, but I don't think
I think these guys are UFC career guys.
Yeah, so none of them no Bellator run for Michael Bisping. Just to grab a belt, maybe.
No.
His desire to be a champion, have a belt around his waist. No World Series of Fighting.
I think they're UFC committed. They're Forrest Griffins.
Well, we'll see. Also, so let's jump to the both cards as a whole. I think the biggest disappointment for a lot of fans was Ian McCall. It was Friday night, got sick, had to go to the hospital. So his fight with John Linkner was canceled. So it looks like the flyweight division is on hold once again because he was actually some pretty heavy smack talk to Demetrius Johnson. Obviously, I think if he would have won on Saturday, if he would have fought, then that would have been perfect natural lineup. But we have to wait again to see that one. And also our good friend Silva scored a knockout win at his bout in UFC. Australia, also Sam Alvey, knockout punch. I think every fight on the Cine card ended by knockout, right? Or was finished, right?
I think there's a finish. Yeah, finish in every fight.
Yeah.
So technically, that was the better fight.
Yeah, so
which a lot of people didn't see.
The better card.
Better card. Sorry.
Yeah, I think every fight was finished.
It was probably the least seen.
Yeah, also Ian Quinta carries on the New Jersey MMA tradition by defeating Ross Pearson.
In the Shogun one though, it was all in the main card, all decisions except for the main event.
That's crazy. So as a whole,
that was probably the most watched card.
Yeah, as a whole, I mean, not too much really happened as far as the radar for title contention and newsworthy. I mean, Solo Play did make an impact, but I think he's still a little bit.
And
if anything, this cracks him back to the top 15, maybe.
Probably even higher than that. I would say top 10. I told you the reason
I agree with you. I'm just saying, but the writers agree with you.
Yeah, well, the reason I said last time was because all these heavyweights are inactive.
Yeah. True. Well, hopefully the writers see. I think with every Tuesday they're supposed to release the new rankings. It's like the college football
thing. Ballot.
Well, just to show you, out of these two cards, he was the only heavyweight match.
That's my point.
Everybody else was welterweight, light heavyweight.
But that's what I told Alex. I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago or last week. The heavyweight division is too inactive.
Every win in the heavyweight means a ton.
Yep.
No pun intended.
All right, that's it for this week. Next week we're talking about UFC 180 Hunt versus Verdum.
Something that was
the destiny in the walls for my Cain Velasquez,
which was supposed to be. It's gonna be held in Mexico. It's supposed to be the pride of Mexico.
And it seems like the Mexicans are the ones flying out of this.
No, we just got Kevin Gastelum, Dennis Bermudez, Ricardo Lamas representing everybody, and Eric Perez as well. But I think he's kind of low. Is he still on the card or is he hurt, Eric Perez?
I just saw on his Instagram that he came out of surgery, so I don't know.
Yeah, Eric Perez was supposed to face Marcus Bridgham, but Perez had to pull down because shoulder injury.
Wow. So that's pretty much
no Diego Sanchez, no Cain Velasquez.
No, it's like a regular card in Mexico.
Yeah, it's like, again, that's why it's very, very disappointing. It was a card that I was expecting, but
fireworks.
We're gonna have a party, everything. Go to our friend Jason Hendrick's house with the Mexican flag in the front lawn.
Yeah,
right?
I was waiting for it, but.
All right, so until then, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 5Round MMA. That's FIVE. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. And always check out 5roundmma.com. Please feel free to join in on any other discussions on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Contact us on our contacts on the webpage, right, Albert?
Yes, sir.
I think that's it for this week. So a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Before we leave, I need Steven Rozzo to do us a favor and point out who's today's super clean star of the show, brought to you by Rock and Green Soaps.
Yes.
Who you pointing at? Albert?
Me.
Oh, my. Because it's your birthday present. Happy birthday.
Late birthday present. I like it.
Wrestling reference.
Yeah, the wrestling reference. Did you talk about Sting? I didn't hear Sting reference. Did you? Sting?
No, because I don't do Sting references, bro.
All right, until then, take us away, Albert.
I'd like to thank your executive producer, Guillermo Cita, our sound engineer over there, Steven Rozzo with Rozzo Records. If you don't know, our podcast is free. Please download and watch on YouTube. If you didn't know, but you know what else is free?
What?
WWE all November long. So go ahead and get it, guys.
WWE Network?
Yeah, WWE Network. So go ahead and get it. There's no obligations or nothing. Check out Survivor Series for free.
Wow. 6-month commitment.
They went down that low?
Wow, I guess so, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's cream of the crop.